Hi, it's Carly McAvoy. This is an introduction to the TI-84 Plus calculator. I'm going to have a bunch of different videos, and so if you look in the description, there'll be a playlist, a link to the playlist for all of those. If there's something that you'd like to see that's not on there, let me know. First of all, just the on-off button down here on the bottom left is your on button, and then if you want to turn that off, you would hit second function and off. So that's going to turn it on and off for you. In general, the second function button, this button right here, goes to any of these buttons above the actual buttons that are in blue, so that's how you're going to get to any of those. If you're in a screen and you want to clear it, you can just hit clear and get out of that. If you are in something and you don't know how you got there, or you don't want to be there anymore, then you can hit second function and quit. I use that a lot just to get out of everything and get back to where I want to be. You have arrows on your calculator, so let's say that I had some number like this, and then I realized, oh, I didn't mean to put the 8 in there. You can back up to where you're going, and then if you would like to get rid of 8, you can hit the delete button, the DEL. Just hit that right there. That will delete that. If I decide instead of 8, I really wish I would have put a 6 in there, I can hit the second function, delete, which is the insert, and then I can put 6, and I'll still have the 9 and the 7. I can arrow over a couple of times to get out of that. So the arrow buttons can also take you up and down. Let's say you had this, and then you had 25, and then you had 65 times 21, and then all of a sudden you wanted to go back up to where you were before. You could use your arrow button up to get back up to where you want to change something, or you could arrow back down. So the arrow buttons are going to take you left and right, up and down, just like anything else you're used to. You can take the square of a number like 25 squared, just hit the X to the second power here button, and then hit enter. Your enter and your solve button you're going to use a lot. And then if you wanted to take something to a different power, let's say you wanted to take 12 to the third power, you can use the caret button right here, and you could take that to the third power, hit enter to get that. You can also take the square root of a number. That same button that you had x squared has the square root button over it, second function, and that x squared button, and you can get take the square root of any number you want. It doesn't have to be an exact square, but I will have a video showing you how to get an answer to an exact answer for a square root if it's not an actual answer instead of a decimal number. Also, I just want to mention that this button down here is your negative button. So if you did 25 minus 36, you're going to get an error message because it doesn't know what you're talking about. That's not subtraction. So if you want subtraction, you need to be using your subtraction button. If you want a negative, then that's fine. Once you get into this, you can hit second function quit, but here it's telling you if you hit 1, you can quit right out of that. So you can go out of that and then do 25 minus 36. That it can do. Or 25 plus negative 36, that it could do, but you can't use this button for your subtraction. Also, just to point out, in other videos we'll use this a lot, that is the comma button. Sometimes you have to put more than one argument in, so you want a number, comma, and another number, and then you also want to make sure that you know about the parentheses that are here. In this calculator, it's very sensitive to parentheses at times. You need to make sure that if you have a beginning parentheses, you need to have an end one. Sometimes you can get away without it, but it's just better to know what that is. The math button is a very important button. You have a lot of different functions there we'll go into in other videos. But one thing I would say is let's say I put 0.75 in there and I didn't know what that was as a fraction, I can hit the math button and you can see right there the second one down says decimal. So if I want to change my decimal 0.75 into a fraction, rather I hit fraction, and it's going to change that into 3/4. Then if I decide, no, wait a minute, what was that as a decimal? I can go back, I can change 3/4 into a decimal, and I get the 0.75. So go between decimals and fractions under the math button, but so much more under there, which we'll get to in other videos. And then the other thing is this button right here. If you want to enter an X, it's a really quick way to enter certain values, certain variables. Also, though, if you hit the alpha button, you can enter any variable you want. You can see that there's these little green buttons for, here's Y, Z, and these buttons right here are all values you can enter by, if you want to get to the alphabet, you hit that alpha button. And then finally, the other thing I want to say is don't forget that you have this ability to add or subtract or multiply or divide or whatever onto your previous answer. So let's say I have 288 as an answer, and then I get 1,258, and I want to divide by 288. But let's say it was something more complicated than 288. I don't want to have to type that in again, so I can hit divide by, and then I can do second function, and down here where this negative sign was, I hit answer, and that says divide by that last answer. So I can do that and I can get that answer that way. So that second function answer is a nice way so you don't have to go back and type in the whole number that you had before. Okay, that's just the tip of the iceberg for this calculator, obviously. Join me for more videos so you can become proficient with your calculator. Have a fantastic day.